Good afternoon, everyone. I am the second reporter of this group, and our report is all about conducting a basic needs assessment for a project proposal. So, in my report, I will be talking about how to conduct needs assessment. But before that, I have here a model of needs assessment framework. We have learned that needs assessment is a systematic process for determining and addressing needs or gaps between current conditions and desired conditions or wants. The discrepancy between the current condition and wanted condition must be measured to appropriately identify the need. The need can be a desire to improve current performance or to correct a deficiency. Here, needs are gaps in results. So why is a need assessment important? Needs assessment is important so that you will proactively address any gaps, you'll find the best solutions to problems, and you will keep project timelines on track. We have learned in the previous report that typically a needs assessment is broken down into three main parts or stages: the initiation, data collection and analysis, which involves data collection techniques such as document or data review, guided expert reviews, interviews, surveys, and many more. And also the final production. In your search for instructions, you will likely come across a lot of academic jargon or formal project management methodologies about how to get this done or how to conduct needs assessment. In my report, let's assume you're just getting started. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. Here are 4 straightforward steps to conduct needs assessment. So number 1 is to understand the requirements of your project, get a grasp on what you already have available, then identify any gaps, and the last one is to take action to fill those gaps. For the first step, understand the requirements of your project. Before you can confirm that you're able to meet the needs of a project, you need a solid grasp of what's required. Start by ensuring that you and your team are clear on the overall objective of the project, as that will give you important context. With that broader context in place, it's time to drill down to even more specifics. For example, asking or having a thought of what does success look like with this project, what individual milestones or deliverables will be involved, how do we think the general project flow will look like from inception to completion, and what's on our wish list that would make this project run even smoother. This will give you a greater understanding of everything that's involved with that project so you can better identify the needs associated with it. The second step is to get a grasp on what you already have available. Now that you know what's required for that project, it's time to turn your attention to your existing resources. What do you already have available that you could use for that project? Once you brainstorm your list, mash up these available resources with your project needs. Maybe that IT team member with the top-notch data skills will be the perfect fit for the analytics piece of the project. Or perhaps that software you can recently invested in can help automate a lot of your project tasks. Connect, connect those dots wherever you can. That's the information you'll need as you move into the next step. For the third step, identify any gaps. Did the previous step show you that you already have a lot of project needs addressed? This step is all about pinpointing those gaps. Where are you missing what you need? For example, perhaps you have a lot of helpful expertise on your team, but you realize that nobody has the graphic design skills you're going to need to pull this project off. Write down that gap so you don't forget about it. And for the last step, take action to fill those gaps. A needs assessment is only useful if you do something with the information you find. It doesn't do any good to identify gaps if you aren't going to do anything to address them. That's what this final step is about. If you've noticed that you're lacking graphic design know-how for this project, how are you going to fulfill that need? Will you outsource to an agency, hire a freelancer, provide additional training and resource to an existing team member? Find the best solution for bridging that gap, and then take steps to make it happen before you get too far into the project. Remember, your goal is to start with everything you need in place. So this will be the end of my report.